the gods on earth is the God born Bill Universal, transmitter supreme science on earth and the universe. And this is iGod TV. We back in the house, family. And you know we got the Augie with us as always.
Augie!
Hey, and I know y'all seen him on the interview. You know what I mean? Because it did numbers, and I appreciate everybody that tapped in because that was a real story with real receipts, man. And it was just overall a great conversation, man. You know what I mean? But I want everybody to tap in with my guys. Shout out to my man J5 in the house.
Yo, what up?
Once again, man. You know, and tonight we ain't on no interview shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I told you we was gonna be doing some things with Five in the future. You know what I mean? And this is gonna be the first of many. You know what I mean? But we gonna keep it in the realm of entertainment. You know what I mean? Because like we said in the interview, you know, he's been around. He's out in California now. He's tapping in with actual artists in the industry, so he can see how certain things go and explain certain interactions. You know what I mean with actual artists and certain things. You know what I mean? So I want y'all to welcome him into the building tonight, man, and we about to have a great discussion. You know, but first things first, man. Before we get, it's about the industry, but before we get into to the depths of the discussion, man. I want to ask y'all, both of y'all, man, we got to talk about the boy, Mystikal, man.
Oh, man.
I'm going to just be honest, bro. If I don't wish jail on nobody, but they need to throw that nigga in. He keep getting charged with the exact same shit.
Yeah, bro. This is repetitious, man.
Man, and then, but then it's like, it start making you look at the nigga, it keep making you look at dual records. Like, he got a song that he literally say, I came in here with my dick in my hand, and then the very next line, he tell everybody to be cool. Like, bruh, like,
dude, hey, exactly. Look, I was like, you read my mind. You read my mind. That shake it fast. The very first words is you came with your dick in your hand. Be cool, fall back, like, nigga, be cool. No, I'm not gonna be cool. I am that nigga to say, put that shit away. What the fuck is you doing?
Like,
you know what I mean?
Who let that slide in the studio? Like, you
see
know
what they type of, you see the energy. Shit. Just like when we can, I mean,
bruh,
look, if they really want to talk about YSL and niggas like that and with their lyrics, we need to tap. You should have been tapping into R. Kelly's lyrics. You should have been tapping into Mystikal's lyrics, if anything, because they've been saying. But with
whoever
Mystikal,
was in the studio when he recorded.
With Mystikal, I want to say this, man. You know, I mean, to me, this type of repetition of a heinous crime like this, man, it's a mental health issue, man. It's
of course,
this dude, you know, he need help, man.
It's still a crime. He still need to be incarcerated for it, but they need to get that brother some professional help and
immediately
break that down. Like, yesterday,
yeah, man,
2 weeks ago, like, you can't. He done been arrested and charged for it ain't even been a variation. It's been the exact same crime. Like,
exactly,
that is ridiculous, man.
It is.
Like, come on, man.
Hey, they say that's his MO.
Hey, you know what? And it makes you wonder. What you saying that about his MO? That makes you wonder why his coming home wasn't really a big thing, and there was no big music. A big music mogul didn't step up and like, yeah, Mystikal's with us. You get what I'm saying? They kept him on the hush.
They was like, man, this dude out, but they know he's wilding. He's out of control. He need to really, just being honest, like, sometimes, like, cats need to be sat down for, like, he been getting off with slaps on the wrist. Like, he really need to get sat down because this is because it's ridiculous, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Like, it's serious, man. We got to people. One thing as men is our responsibility is to protect our women, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the main thing, man. If we ain't doing it, who gonna do it, man? You know what I mean? And it really just makes you think about, you know, a lot of brothers and just a lot of things in the industry when you look at it. You know what I mean? You see different things with, like, you know, Trey Songz. You hear stuff about, you know, and people coming out saying all this and that. It's like, it really just.
Seen your boy Bobby V.
Hey, you know, Gillie the Kid. You know, I didn't want nothing to do with the Gillie the Kid and Rick Ross situation, man. But Gillie the Kid said something that really, really made sense, man. Money don't unlame a lame.
Nope.
It don't.
Hey,
It don't make
Jay-Z,
you real
hey,
neither.
what Jay-Z say on that what was the Black album, whatever? He's like, man, and you could pretend, but that's just the top layer, man. You was who you was when you got here.
You got
Yes,
here.
sir.
You are who you are when you came here.
So we can't be surprised. The check don't change nothing, obviously.
You know what I'm
So,
saying? You heard what he said.
You
heard what he said on the one joint. He said, the one thing you leaving out, you're a candle in the sun. That shit don't even
Yeah, hey, that's word. That's word, man.
You know
and it's like, the thing with these artists, man, and just the situations that these dudes are in, it really makes you wonder, like, how really involved are the labels anymore? Like, does artist development even actually exist? Like 50 Cent, like I mean, if we look at 50 Cent, it's like they made sure that nothing else was going to happen to this man after that incident.
So they was protecting their investment. Like right now, man, they just throwing shit at the wall. Hopefully it stick, man.
And
like,
they don't care about these artists. They don't necessarily
They don't care about them. They don't care. Like right now, the new thing, like the new thing in the music now is dissing dead people and beef. Like they'll use people that'll really be on the street like 100 all day or whatever, that's from these crazy neighborhoods or whatever, and they'll just perpetuate the beef. And they, soon the song go up, is, you know what I mean, the label trying to throw money at it because they trying to capitalize on it. But if the person died, they don't give a fuck.
And as we spoke on in a couple other interviews, 9 times out of 10 got insurance on these kids.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them do. Some of them do. Like not to speak on it too crazy, but I know y'all know what happened with Draco the Ruler, right?
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace, Draco. Word. Rest in peace.
So
he was a great one.
The Live Nation, the people that threw the concert in Inglewood, the big entity Live Nation, they like, that's supposed to be one of the most secure things, that he got killed at the concert. Like before he went on stage, they like, we ain't got shit to do with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because they honestly do not care.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's wild.
Yeah.
But I say that to say this. The concert was in the neighborhood. He did a song dissing the city where the concert was at.
Right.
I mean, what you expect was going to happen.
You also got to know how to move too.
Brandon, you come out here.
Can I take some? Can I play devil's advocate right quick? Because we sit there blaming these record companies, but once again, you know my motto: who controls your brain? And if you out here wilding,
you got to have accountability.
Beef, I'm just saying, if you bring beef,
I feel that.
If you got a career going, and you want to be out here on some Howard Stern shock value, on some jackass shit, you gonna come on, man. You gonna get world star.
I tell people all the time, bro. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. It sucks, and it really sucks when people lose their lives and shit. But like, you can't literally be open, like dissing people, and really, like, that's like the culture now, and it's like you perpetuating this, and then you don't, like, it doesn't turn off because you're an artist and you're gonna go there and perform, and like they don't give a fuck about that.
No.
They know is you diss where they from. They know you diss where they from, and for they hood, if they get you while you there, that's gonna get them whatever type of clout, stripes, or whatever's going on. And it's a fucked up situation, and the labels and none of that shit don't give a fuck. But even more importantly, we gotta have accountability for that type of shit. Like, if you gonna move like that, fuck, if the venue got security, have your own security.
That's
you know what I'm saying? You gotta move more cautious and know what the fuck going on and know where you at.
Exactly. But look at the situation. But let me I'm gonna speak on what Smooth had said too about the labels and the things like that. Well, let's look at a situation of Pooh Shiesty. He signed to Gucci Mane. Now we all know that Gucci been in and out of prison his whole career. So wouldn't you think that if he brought in an artist that he knew that was following down that same, actually he had two artists, Fujiano, he in prison too. So it's like you got two young artists you brought in that's following the same footstep that you went through, and instead of trying to prevent that and remove them from it, they fall right into the same exact trap.
So so once again, can I say this? I mean, and I don't know none of these, the Gucci man, I don't know none of these dudes. But in business, it ain't protect my investment. But at the same time, if I'm selling death, slaughter, and wildness, and that's what you specialize in, you know what I mean? You yourself should be smart enough to have them extra Goonie Goo-Goos or whatever you need to promote this message, because you know you're gonna go in somebody's hood and diss them. So you must have an army. You know what I mean? I mean,
that's what,
if you
to your point,
if you don't,
these dudes don't though, man. They don't. They got they don't have an army.
Let
you know
me tell you why they don't have the army.
They got their Instagram followers. That's their army.
But
the
reason why they don't have security. So here's the thing: the reason why they don't have security is because the optics. It looks like you saw. Like you got to move everywhere with security. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it, like even like to your point, Augie, like to your point, if you perpetuating all of this, you want to protect your investment. I just watched the interview with Tony Yayo. I ain't even know this. You know, Tony Yayo and them niggas was fresh off the block. You know what 50 Cent did? He moved them niggas out of Queens.
Yeah.
Them niggas wasn't even in Queens. He had them niggas over there in the rich neighborhood by the Statue of Liberty.
Right. Made
so
sure
they wouldn't be in the middle of the bullshit and make sure them niggas was cool.
Exactly.
He got them niggas the fuck out of there.
Exactly. But look, then you look at a situation. Then you look at a situation like Stack Bundles. He asked Jim Jones to get him out the hood. Jim Jones didn't help him get the crib. He gets killed right in the hood.
But I'll say this though, and I love Stack Bundles. He was one of my favorite young MCs coming up and shit. Listening to all the mixtapes and all that. Stack Bundles, he could have got his own crib. That nigga chose to buy a Porsche. Like he got killed. Like he bought $100,000 car. Like get the crib. You can get the car later.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely didn't have his priorities together.
It's all about choices. Like we was talking earlier before we on the recording, man. So once you have the accountability, it's up to you to make the choice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So do you want to, like, at the end of the day, Jim Jones and them, that nigga grinded from being a hype man / cameraman to being Jim Jones balling. Yeah, he gave you the opportunity. He put you on, and now you making money and you getting X amount of money per show. Why you gotta buy the $100,000 car if you know you need to be you need to be in the
flex
crib
on the hood? Gotta flex on the hood first. They gotta flex on their own people first. That's the crazy part. They always want to make us feel bad for not being successful. That's the craziest part.
The craziest thing is, man, to the Wolves, you looking like dinner. Like
exactly.
if you grew up with the Wolves and you totally always around, at some point, if you ain't feeding them niggas, you start to look like food.
Exactly. 50 Cent said that a minute ago too, man, on some real. And you know what? Speaking of what you were saying earlier too, man, you know, if Jay Prince said something, man, that really hit me the other day, man. He said, every day we wake up with two things, a chance and a choice.
That's right.
That's all you got. Every day you open your eyes, you got a chance to change everything and a choice to actually do it.
That's right.
But what people don't understand, it goes hand in hand, but it's this far away from each other because the thought and the action should be like this. You know what but actually it's like this.
The middle ground is
forever to get to the action.
But you know what the middle ground is.
But it's not though. The middle ground is accountability.
Exactly.
And you gotta know
it's gonna take you. You gotta know that it's gonna take you to do it.
Yep.
You right about that, Five. You right about that.
A nigga give you the opportunity. Like, for example, like if y'all had was running a successful label, or you was a successful artist, you give me the opportunity. Mm-hmm. It's up to me what I do with that opportunity. Exactly. Y'all not supposed to hold my hand and walk me through everything. Exactly. If y'all give me the opportunity, it's on me to put in the work to fail to succeed.
Get my lawyers, anything get my that I want to do, get my my shit together.
It's on me from that point. Right now, y'all could tell me, hey, you might want to get a lawyer and all that, but it's still on me to do my due diligence and do the work. Exactly. A lot of people don't want the work. They don't want it. They don't want it all handed. A lot of people just want it all handed to them. They don't want to put in the work to do it.
Right. And you know what I'm saying?
You know what? Which goes back
that takes me to a point. That takes me to a point that I wanted to make, man, about this whole thing is when you were saying about people giving you the opportunity, you know, and what comes out of that opportunity, man. And I want to just ask both of you guys, do you think hip hop prospers and becomes what it becomes today without that so-called drug lord or that street leader or that street mentality behind it the whole time? Because to me, I feel like the biggest investors in rap was the Dope Man, because he threw all the parties. He was paying niggas come do the parties. He was throwing all the parties.
Listen, the dope boy or dope dealer, whatever you want to be, boy, them was the status symbols in the hood, right? They the ones with the ear to the street.
But yeah, like we were saying, you know, it was like that part of it, that aspect, it was like the very beginning of the fun. Because even if you go into Russell Simmons' story, he tells you about how he, you know what I mean, had to get his hustle on, you know, to even make Def Jam happen. You know,
so I say it like this: that just kicked me back into where my train of thought was, so I can land the plane real quick.
Word.
Back then, like the D-boy was the status symbol. If your music was cool to them, you know, through process of it's cool to everybody, because everybody sees them as a symbol of success, and everybody wants to do whatever the successful person is doing. And coming up in, you know, with hip hop, they didn't even take the music serious. They thought it was bullshit. They didn't even think it could make money until they seen it making money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when they it was just the appearance. They seen all the D-boys with the clothes and the jewelry, and they getting paid to do shows at the clubs, and they performing at the clubs and all of that. So which made these labels who thought it was noise or didn't even think it was a viable option, now they're like, oh, we can throw some money at it and let's see if we can get a return on investment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's all they was doing. They never really gave a fuck about the actual culture of it. Where the D-boy was the one funding it from the grassroots and the ground level.
Right. Just like you said about the success, you know, that was the success story. If cats watching their father work forever, you know, and still just making ends meet, you know what I mean? Or just having to go to school all these years to get a degree and get all that done, cats are seeing it like, oh, okay, there's some shit that can happen overnight. You know what I mean? Changing lives. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that was the success story that everybody jump on, you know, just like with the dope game itself, even sports. You know what I mean? There's a lot of cats that even if they know they're not really gonna have a chance to make it maybe past high school, might maybe go to a small college, but it's too slim of a chance to even go to the NBA, but they still take that chance because that's the only level of success they see, you know?
Yep.
I ain't gonna lie, man. If I may elaborate from an older point of view, and you know what I'm saying, and respectfully, I'm gonna say this. I mean, I love your point of what you were saying, but it was like only really half right. Because you understand, living in that time when that shit, bro, they said this shit with hip hop was gonna last 2 years. It was a fad, like disco. I'm talking about this for me. People telling me this when I'm trying to actively do these things. 12, 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? Grown folks say, don't waste your time with that. What's this? You know what I mean? Right. And they ain't even understand what y'all grew up into. You know what I mean? So, and the cats that taught me was from the grain. and brought it down here. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we just did it to rock the parties. And the parties get you the girls. The girls, you know what I mean? And of course, in all the gigs, he who rocks the party is getting the money.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, one thing that the other people don't like is to see you get money and they ain't got a piece of it.
Right.
So that's where it always, and then they don't like to be excluded like they exclude you. See, because they couldn't come to these parties.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Then you got the trickling down of your, you know, oh, he's cool. Because back then it was some disco shit. See, you know, it was all about dancing. It wasn't even about an MC. It was about the DJ rocking the party and everybody having a good time. And the DJ used to just speak like a lounge lizard, you know what I'm saying? Like a lounge thing, you know, he just, we just picking it. And then he brought another aspect that, let's say,
when the MC came out,
from the Gil Scott Herons and the James Browns, cats started putting it together a little flavory. And then from one or two nursery rhymes, just trying to, you know, excite the music.
Right.
Now motherfuckers just thinking whole paragraphs. Now people just thinking whole thoughts. Right? Now people are, you know what I mean?
But at some point back then, the MC started to imitate the kingpin of the neighborhood. He started wearing the chain like him.
I'm gonna tell you exactly when that was. That was 1982, 3, and 4. Because before that, you had cats like Curtis Blow, you know what I mean? Who had a record.
Yeah, we talked about that 5.
Them dudes
were just talking about that.
They were dressing up in costumes though, like the rock and roll.
But all bands were, sir.
The Furious 5, all that.
Every band, like all the bands.
Hold on. You let me land the plane, sir. Let me land the plane, because I was there. This ain't nothing. You know.
Sure.
This is
my apologies.
So I'm just saying, I'm
right with you
myself. And I tell you like this: with older people that are now hip hop, I tell them all the time, you was one of them suckers that said this shit wasn't live. You was into your jazz and all that, not knowing that this is an amalgamation of all things. You know what I mean? That's where I'm coming from. That's what the music was. It was cats taking records, taking that break, so we can just go ahead and dance. And you got the B-boys rocking they shit, you know what I mean? Pop locking. And then it became break dancing. You know what I mean? And then before the pop locking, niggas was wearing goddamn bell bottoms and shit.
Yeah.
Before niggas got on B-boy suits.
Somehow the street life on a violent level took over the whole scene. Because if you watch that Supreme Team documentary, LL Cool J, okay, he's just in the crowd just like a regular dude from around the corner, man.
And he is.
What I'm saying is no one cared he was there. They were there for Supreme. They were there for the Supreme Team. Okay. Yeah. Look, they didn't even let LL on stage. That's how crazy it was. It was like, look,
and LL was millionaires. Like on fire at that time.
He was. LL was on fire.
Look, I can't live without my radio and all that.
Come on.
Care about
We're millionaires. Look, we'll send you a bottle of champagne. You go ahead out there and talk to the females that we don't want. No one cared. LL Cool J, a pioneer of this shit, was in the building, man. That's my point of what I'm saying about the influence of it and the transition of it, you know, which leads me to a segue that I want you to talk about, Aggie, is that leads us to the changing of the male perception. Get what I'm saying? Now as men, you have to be this or you're fucking nobody. You can forget having to marry in, or you can forget any of the benefits that a good man deserves, because now this is the man that's gonna do everything for everybody. This is the man that's capable, to change your life and to get the life you're looking for, not the nigga that's going out here on his grind every day.
Okay, so and then hey, I'm gonna go back with the LL thing and why they ain't let him on stage. So you gotta understand, LL wasn't but about 16, 17 years old at this time, getting in a grown folks establishment. He was a kid. Nobody cared he was LL. New York got 9 million people. He had local fame. He had fame within a couple hoods. He was, I mean, and it trickled off when we got videos and stuff out here, if his records made it out here, if they was in with the mom and pops that was in that chain or in the DJ pool, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people never got some good with some records.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because in that same time LL was rocking, guess who was really the man of the hour? MC Shan.
Yeah.
Was murdering LL at that time.
From the Juice Crew.
I'm just saying.
But I didn't see Shan up there either.
Huh?
I didn't see Shan up there either.
No. Hey,
I didn't even know Shan was invited.
Hey, Shan might have been in the crowd and not on camera.
Nah, I'm just clowning. Because I rock with Shan too. My point is,
no, the point I was making is Shan is a little older.
You can see where the MC started to feel like this is the persona that people actually love and respect. Because they didn't respect the rappers. If you hear any of these rappers talk about it from back then, they always say that when they first started rapping, nobody respected them as saying, yeah, I rap. You know what I mean? They didn't get this money. You get what I'm saying? So it came to a point, I feel like, to where the rappers started to feel like that persona is what's going to attract the people to me. You know what I mean?
It was Run DMC though.
Yeah.
It started.
Jam Master Jay.
And all it took was dressing in regular clothes. See, like J5 said earlier, see, the early MCs was like bands, like for real. And every band had a costume.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you go up and do your thing with your instruments and shit, you got a costume on because this is your persona of your band. And then when they said, all right, this is what we doing, it's a party, you know what I'm saying? We in the disco. It's before it was a club, we in the disco.
Right.
So you can rock the disco, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You got cats waiting to come here. You like Deborah Harry used to go sing. You know, you got talent.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Gil Scott Heron was probably at the disco doing his spoken word poetry, like speakeasies in the 60s.
Right.
You know, so instead of wearing a costume, come as you are.
Right. Well, yeah, I get that. I feel you on that, to come as you are, for sure. But we can't sit here and say that the MC just started wearing, I mean, from Run DMC, those was just regular clothes. Those was not regular clothes. Those was the fly nigga clothes.
Hey, yo.
Nigga, everybody wasn't rocking. Everybody wasn't buying the leathers with the hats with the cat. Everybody wasn't affording that.
But one thing that they did make
Russell was the stylist.
You know, I'm just saying it wasn't the shit that regular niggas was wearing in the hood is what I'm saying. These niggas was rocking that fly shit.
They did it a little flyer, but they was wearing tracksuits. Regular niggas in the hood was wearing tracksuits, but like they did it. Obviously, they did a little flyer, but like even if it wasn't as fly as the drug dealer niggas, they felt like, hey, he wearing regular shit like me.
All right, well, check this point out.
Up here with the bell bottom pants and the feathers and all that shit. Like they wasn't doing that.
Right. All the rappers back in the day, even Mike Tyson and all the niggas, they all went to Dapper Dan, right? But who's the most famous nigga to ever get anything from Dapper Dan? Rest in peace, Alpo, and that jacket. I don't care if Grandmaster Flash had it on.
The jacket, the Max, the Timbs, and all that. But like prior to Run DMC, everybody was like
right. That's a fact though. Even Dr. Dre, when Dr. Dre and them, the World Class Wrecking Crew with Dr. Dre, because Eazy-E told us when Dr. Dre was wearing the makeup and the You know,
Yeah.
he had on a doctor outfit.
Melly Mel and them niggas. Grandmaster Flash had on the goddamn leather shit like they was on some S&M video.
They had capes and shit. Like niggas, regular niggas ain't wearing that shit. Them niggas had cowboy boots with spurs and shit on. They wasn't
wearing that in the streets
at all.
And then it switched over.
Niggas was wearing track suits in the street. Niggas was going to Dap. Niggas was going to Dap in Harlem, getting the MCM fabrics or the Gucci fabric and getting it turned into tracksuit. That shit didn't even exist. You know what I'm saying? He was making it for them niggas. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I.e. Rakim. You know what I'm saying? Paid in full cover.
And we all know. And Augie, you can account to this. And we all know that the dress code of the fly velour sweatsuits and the tracksuits, that was the 5%ers with the Bally, the fly velour jacket with the sweats. You feel me?
With the Wallies.
This really just wasn't regular niggas gear. Like niggas, the MC had to adapt the flyest of the fly. You get what I'm saying? That influenced cats that was really outside, you know?
Hey, but then think about it though. That was now your new costume.
Yeah.
If you only had one outfit, if you had to spend a month's worth of wages on that one outfit that you performed in,
you
know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they seen you, you were super duper fly, and you ain't wear that joint, and you kept your shit toothbrushed out. You know what I mean? In the closet, like a Sunday suit.
Yeah.
In the under the plastic, all that.
Like, And you know, Dame Dash and Jay-Z, they killed the whole shit to where you can't wear nothing twice. So now you can't even be seen in the same shit twice. It's like, come on, man.
And then they elevated it. See, that's the elevation. But then guess what? See, now on our conversation on how, you know, let's say the Hustler changed the whole dress code. But one thing about the cats that was dressing fly, they was rhyming fly too.
They backed it up, definitely.
Now niggas is dressing better than they rap.
Definitely.
Art imitates life for the most part. The cream always rise to the top. Once everybody started copying this the new dress code, now we start weeding the trash niggas that really can't rap. Cause we all, through all eras of hip hop, we all had it was always the one nigga that came with the one song that was cool, but the nigga really couldn't rap for shit, and then it was here today, gone tomorrow.
Right.
But the niggas that really stood the test of time was the niggas that was actually fly with the rhyming too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just it evolved in that because now you gotta show and prove. Yeah, you look fly, but can you rhyme though?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. You know, and that brings me to my last point for the night, man, before we get up out of here, man. I also want to thank y'all again, especially you five, man, for tapping in with us from a different time zone, man. We're going to be doing a lot more of this, man. But my last point I want to make before we get up out of here, man, is segueing off what you was just saying, Five. And my point being, the last point being, is there any money in conscious rap?
So the thing is, what they tell you is that it's not.
Or just rhyming with the actual message. Let's just not just say conscious. Your audience. Not just say conscious. Like an actual message for growth.
So I'll say yes and no. And I'll use myself in part of the example. But like you got artists like Kendrick Lamar. He making money. He one of the top selling artists, and he basically do conscious, you know, growth, elevation. J. Cole talk about growth, elevation. Even in myself, you just gotta figure out how to present it in a way that's palatable. You know what I'm saying? Or as my cousin would say, give them candy with the medicine. Because like niggas that hear me rhyme, they tell you, like my niggas out here, they say, hey, you sound like a street nigga, but you be rapping about growth and elevation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you got to be able to bring it down to a level to where to the average listener, a lot of cats that be really into the science and shit, sometimes they be so far over everybody's head they can't grab it. You got to be able to bring it down to a level to a regular nigga to just listen to music to listen to it.
Right.
Catch it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So do you feel like that's one of the long lasting stories about Nas? everybody loved his raps, but they felt like he always chose the wrong beats.
Yeah, that's one of the things. But with Nas, he was one of them artists. Like, if you knew what time it was with Nas, you knew what time it was, so you was already tuned in. Like, Nas is the reason why I rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the reasons why I rhyme. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't hard to tell. Probably
his beats wasn't necessarily on that level to where it was in the club. He would get that number one, you know, that number one status, you know. But then if you turn around and look at the Wu-Tang Clan, you know, they had somewhat even a deeper message. But I feel like the RZA had the genius enough to know I'm gonna keep all these beats.
He was sprinkling
in and grimy.
Yeah, he was keeping them grimy, but he was sprinkling in like I'm gonna tell you. I'll say this: the Wu-Tang Clan came up with the most iconic acronym in hip hop.
Yeah,
Cream.
Cash rules everything.
Everybody,
around yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's embedded in your brain, no matter what you think. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, even though the beat was just super grimy, it's just ingrained in your head because you just gravitate to it. You know what I'm saying?
You do, right?
And that he was able, the RZA, he was able to cultivate all of those different styles from all his brothers, and then sprinkle the type of beats which allowed them to showcase their talent. Which, you know what I'm saying, they was rapping about, they was kicking science. Niggas didn't know, but if you knew what time it was, you knew what time it was, and they just happened to gravitate the whole world off of that one record.
So do you feel like that's where that's where a lot of conscious rappers make their mistake, is where they don't want to go with the system of making it palatable, like you say, so to speak. You know what I mean?
So so
they want to just take it as it is.
Even with just super lyrical niggas, because I can say that speaking from experience. The problem with a lot of us, which, you know what I'm saying, I feel like I've been figuring it out as I go. It's all a learning thing, right? But some people figure it out early. The thing is, with niggas that be kicking science like that, and they be so ingrained to it, they be wanting to teach people that it doesn't come up. Like, when you listening to music, you need to have something tangible to take to gravitate to. And a lot of people that rhyme, they don't rap to you, they rap at you.
Yeah,
and it comes off like that.
That's a good point.
If it's not tangible that you can't grab it, it doesn't make any sense. You'll hear it and be like, oh yeah, that's cool, but like, you're not gonna replay it.
Right.
So when you can talk to people instead of at people, just like when a professor giving a speech, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Once the instant that it catches you, you feel like they're talking to you or they're saying something to you, and it touches you. Like, music is supposed to evoke an emotion, right?
Right.
So as long as it can touch whatever type of emotion, like whatever thoughts you thinking, if it can touch you in that way to make it palatable for you, not saying that everybody else, if they can make it palatable to you, they got to listen to for life. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And Augie, I want to ask you, Augie, before we get out of here, man. And I want to thank you once again too, man, because I know it's getting a little late, man. But even segueing off what Five said, you know, even if you're coming with that, do you feel like the corporate funding and advertising is going to back you enough for you to be able to put that message out there the way it should be?
I'm gonna say it's possible if you got your team on that campaign. They gonna give you the money because they want their money back. But it's gonna take you to create a following like a J. Cole. You know what I mean? Because you don't never hear none of his stuff on the radio or none of that.
Right.
But he went platinum. Hey, all I heard is he went platinum. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, you gotta have your niche. You gotta have your market. And I mean, it's billions of people on this earth. And let's just say you ask one dude for you. Okay, let's say your market is 250,000 people, 250,000 people. Now multiply that times 1 to 9, and then see how much money you got. If that's what you worried about.
Right.
And it's just like the old commercial. They friends until they friends, and they influencing whoop whoop, because everybody got their own little cultures. You know, everybody Everybody ain't on the drill music shit. Everybody ain't on what we think is everybody's popular shit. You know, some people like, oh, well, they lames or they, man, these cats is in mosh pits. These cats is at rave parties. These cats is doing shows for 60, 70,000 people over across seas.
Yeah.
And everybody bopping to the music.
Shit, even that Rolling Loud shit they got going on right now is going crazy.
Just wish,
you know what I mean?
Said,
but it's
just
about,
circle back.
But, no, I'm just saying,
go ahead, continue.
And agreeing exactly with you. It's your work ethic and how you build yourself.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't gotta have every listener. You just gotta have your listeners.
Yeah.
See, everybody want everybody to listen. But all you gotta have is the people who want your message, and you're gonna reach the right people. You ain't gonna reach, the scummiest of the scummy. They ain't gonna come to you like DMX, like, you made me cry and I changed my life. Or they may. But you just gotta say what you gotta say to who you trying to say it to. And you don't know what your audience is for real.
So do you go for the funding, or do you put in that 10,000 hours, you know what I mean, on your own, and hopefully build up a fan base to where they want to spend money directly with you?
Well,
so this is.
Go ahead, Five.
I'll say this.
Oh, go ahead.
If you put in your 10,000 hours, you don't have to go to them, because if you go directly to them and you don't have anything, they can control everything that you do, and that means you have no leverage. If you make them come, once you put in your 10,000 hours and you build your base or your core fan base or whatever, now you have the leverage.
Right.
And all you need is the opportunity. So it's almost them like going into a joint venture. Yeah, they want their return on investment, but you got control of the music. You got creative control. And that's what a lot of artists don't be having. They don't be having their creative control because they go to these labels basically with their hand out, and the label be like, oh, okay, yeah, we see a little bit of potential, but now we got you in this 360 deal. We want part of your publishing. We're going to get your marketing. We want your tours. We want whatever it is, because now they got to recoup all of that. Where if you came to them with your base built, you control the leverage.
Right.
But yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, that's exactly, I was gonna say that, but I was gonna say it. But yeah, that's basically what it is. Exactly. If they coming to you, it's like you going to get a loan for a car.
Yeah, just a bank loan. Sign the deal with just a bank loan.
I'm willing to pay $200 a month. You know what I mean? I can afford that shit.
Right.
With insurance, I can afford that. That's nothing.
Right.
And my credit score is through the roof. You know what I mean? So, and we're saying that, but fuck they money if you already got your base. Because they money ain't gonna do nothing but really taint your product, because now you got whoop 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 all in your ear. Now it's gonna get perfect example. Public Enemy. Perfect example. PDP. Perfect examples. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The reason why I'm gonna say that is, when we was getting KRS One on B-Boy Records, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, I own my own label. All the rock, we on the turntable. Then when he went to Too Short, perfect examples. Then they went to Jive.
Right.
Now, they gave him, they was like, you got the fans, but now, you can't say exactly all, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because at some point, you get depending on that extra funding, because now it's in your budget. Instead of okay, my budget, I know what I got because I done worked for it. But you can get an extra $250,000, $4 million. You know what I mean? Just for Benny Boom or Little X for your video. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Just to make it look like Belly or some shit. I mean, but that's on you. You know what I mean?
Right. Even with the recording,
you all extra, trying to make sure your shit is the shiniest. But is it that, or is it what you saying? See, everything we talking about, it goes away from the music. Mm-hmm. You said it best.
I just posted about that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We too worried about the visuals and
not paying attention to the craft.
Is it lit in the gigoid? You got enough colors around it, and but let's go back to Wu. I remember seeing Wu for $5 in Kent. First time I ever seen him.
Yeah.
Best concert I ever been to. I seen him on my birthday.
Goody Mob, right down there at motherfucking Bedrocks in Akron when they used to have that popping.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
and
it seemed like it was
actually Wu-Tang at Bedrocks and Goody Mob and them at Kent, but they had Andre and all them cats. Because everybody is starving artists. Everybody, just because you see them on TV, don't make them popular. You know, everybody's still building that brand.
Especially.
You know.
Yeah.
You know what I
mean? It seemed like in this day and age, you really, a lot of people are more focused on being monetized by platforms, when it's like, as you build your platform, you should try to, and you build up your followers and you build up your subscribers, you got to try to figure out a way to monetize your subscribers.
That commercial. Remember the commercial? If you monetize
if you monetize the people that actually tap in with you, you know what I mean? That's going to help you build enough capital to be able to make the moves that you can make. That's when you come up with merch and certain shit like that.
Ain't that where the super chats and all that stuff come in? Patreons and all that?
Right.
Yep.
I mean, I'm just saying.
That's like remember that commercial back in the day? They'd be whispering, if you build it, they will come. You got to build it though. Nowadays, everybody just they'll just throw something out there and then they don't put in the work to build the platform. They don't promote it. They don't do nothing. They just think,
right?
You know, and then they don't invest in themselves. One thing I learned from one of my OGs out here, EA Ski.
Yeah,
he was like, man, ain't nobody gonna invest in you if you won't invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Right, you're right.
He told me yourself.
You got to believe in yourself enough to invest in it, man. That's what you're doing right here.
Like you were saying, like you want that extra $250,000 or whatever from the labels. Like you went from having really great quality recordings at a decent studio where you was getting quality work to now you want to be in Paramount Studio and they charging $1,300, $1,500, $2,000 a day to be in there.
Exactly.
Now you blowing your whole budget just because you think, man, you could be in $1 million studio and still sound like shit.
Exactly.
If you ain't maximizing your time and what you doing in there, like, you know what I'm saying?
And that's a good point. That's a good point, man. You got to maximize the time and you got to utilize the people that's tapping
your resources.
Utilize your resources, and that's the people that's actually
prime example.
With you. Real followers,
prime example.
Real movers. You
Diplomats,
know what I mean?
when Diplomats first got with Rockefeller. You know what I'm saying? They turned the closet into an office space. They had interns and all of that shit. But instead of on that first Diplomatic Immunity album, instead of going to getting Timberland and Just Blaze and all them niggas to pay $20,000 a record, they got the Heat Makers for $5,000 a track. Nobody knew who they was, but then they came with Dipset Anthem and all them other records that you know them for now. They, you know what I'm saying? They got with their own people, put them on, and now they eating because they get more of the pie.
Right.
A lot of people they feel like if they get with the label, oh, I'm about to get this and this person and this person. Like you can get a Timberland beat and the song still be trash.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It don't mean that it's gonna go.
It don't mean it's gonna be fired just because they own it. Like think about how many people get features from niggas and they be trash. Like the song be trash. Like if you're not putting the work in. Like it's not gonna sell just because so and so is on the record. You know what I'm saying? Like think about how many songs that they had a DJ Premier beat, or that they had a Jadakiss feature, or that, and only thing you remember is the Jadakiss feature, but you don't never go back and listen to the artist who had the feature.
Exactly.
Like prime example, the one nigga Block Boy JP, he had the Drake joint, the Look Alive joint. And
ain't had nothing since.
After that record, nobody heard shit from that nigga.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, hey, you know what? And I'm gonna end on that note. Man. You know, we're gonna continue this discussion, man. I want to thank the Augie once again. I want to thank Five for tapping in with us, man. We're gonna be doing a lot more of this, man. I appreciate you, brothers, man. This Born Bill Universal, Transmitter Supreme Science on Earth and the Universe. This iGod TV. Peace.
Peace.